So I'd like to thank you for joining me. And so for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are?
Just can you repeat that first part?
Just explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmed Al-Kadri. I am a comedian living in Los Angeles. My parents come from Yemen. They are immigrants from Yemen. But I also grew up in the red, white, and blue, a land of the free, home of the brave, school shooting, no healthcare type of country. So basically my comedy, I'm a very personal guy. I come from very personal experiences, but I also talk about, my background. So it's like, yeah, I may be a Yemeni, but I'm also an American. So I try to combine both worlds together.
That's awesome. And so what made you want to get into comedy?
I've always loved the power of stand-up comedy, the power of making people laugh, the power of, uniting people from all different races and backgrounds into one room. Um, That's always been my favorite thing about stand-up comedy. I love how it was just one man with one microphone. I thought it was so just I remember first seeing it, I was like, this is so powerful. This is amazing, you know? And it kind of like it like took back all the negative stereotypes that people will think about you. And then not even just race related, but also like just human beings related. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I do have ADD. Yes, I have extrovert. Yes, I'm t coming taking back my power. The things that I've been always insecure about, I take it back with comedy.
That's amazing. And so I understand you're touring around the US with your comedy show. What stops are you most excited about?
That's a really good question. I just finished Detroit and DC. I'm about to do New York. I always love performing in New York. It's one of my favorite cities to perform in. I will be in Dallas May 24th. I always love performing in my hometown, especially people I grew up with come to see me. As well as but honestly, if I'm being real with you guys, what I'm very excited about is going back to Europe. Me and Sammy Obeid, we're doing a European tour. We're doing Dublin, London. Uh it's not I'm doing later Istanbul by myself, but London, Dublin, Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin. And it's just what makes me so happy about those shows is just like because of the internet, it's just all these people from around the world. Literally, like I'm just an I was a dummy loser comedian in LA that moved to LA from Texas thinking he could make something of himself. And now people in a different country travel just to buy tickets and see me live. And that's and 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 it's just crazy. It's like, yeah, you're in Germany or yeah, you're in London, but it's like we could still connect on these jokes.
That's amazing. And so, as a child wanting to start comedy, was there a comedian that like inspired you the most?
Yes. So I want to say, can I go? We're gonna go in levels, all right. So
Yeah.
I want to say my first like invitation to comedy. It was I remember it was Chris Rock in 2004. My mom later turned it off because of all the cussing. And then later on, we YouTube came out, and then we found Russell Peters, and that was like transcendence. And then I absolutely fell in love with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was, I just looked for any clip I could find of Dave Chappelle, anything, from his specials, yeah, his older specials, everything. And this was the old YouTube days in 2005. It was good days, Timothy. Oh my God. This was when YouTube had it take when there was no regulation. So everyone was uploading everything from adult content to to like crazy internet videos to people's specials. It was wild. To South Park, deep Dragon Ball Z episodes. But yeah, so I was watching Dave Chappelle, and then later, 2008, my uncle knew I was a big fan of comedy, so he gave me the Axis of Evil tour, which was these Middle Eastern comedians. It was Dean Abdallah, Aaron Cater, Ahmed Ahmed, and Maz Jobrani. And that kind of reignited of like, oh my God, there's these Arabs who are doing stand-up comedy. This is amazing. And then I was just ever since then, these are like my early inspirations. And then later on, it came more as I grew older, from Bill Burr to Louis C.K. to Chelsea Peretti to Ali Wong to Dina Hashem, like all these fantastic comedians that I just adore. And some of them I got to meet in real life.
That's awesome. And so, uh, I have to pull up my cue sheet.
Okay, cool.
So obviously, this question I've asked you a couple times on your note on your question boxes, so I'm
Yeah.
hoping to answer it here. Your username and everything is Ahmed loves bread. What is your
Yeah.
favorite type of bread?
Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, I did see that. And you know what's funny is like sometimes I answer one question and I was like I'll go back to that one, but then I forget. Sorry about that. Okay, let's begin. I like Hawaiian rolls. Those are good, even though some people think it's not bread. I like when I'm making grilled cheese sandwiches, I like sourdough bread. And then I love pita bread. I want to say those top three. Those are my top three right now. But
That's
it could
really
always change.
yeah. And so, is there a place that you are hoping to tour to and why?
Yes. So I'm working on my fall tour right now, and there's certain cities that I've been like trying to just, or certain regions. I'm gonna go with the regions that I want to not nail out or knock down, which is one is more of the Northeast region. So I'm talking about Pittsburgh to Boston to Toronto. Sorry, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, yeah, Boston, Philly, like those, that region. That's one I really want to hit. And then other one that me and someone's gonna we're working on is in the South region, the South. Oh, well, it's gonna be Midwest slash South. So I'm gonna start in St. Louis, stay with Ryan. A reason to go hang out with my best friend. And then I'm gonna, go down the south. So we're gonna go like a full, like by myself, like go down Louisville, Kentucky to Flo all these Florida cities. And the reason why I'm very excited to hit those regions is one, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna have a big fan base there. I'm probably not gonna make a lot of money, but it's also like my goal is to market enough well so I could earn and see if I can make that region laugh and see if I could, win their trust. So I'm really excited to, just give it a shot, just literally drive from city to city around the South as well as the Northeast regions.
That's awesome. And so, for your comedy shows, do you ever are you always alone? Like, is it all you, or do you always have like a stutter, or are you studying like for your national
Yeah,
tour?
so sometimes I'll have an opener for some cities. Unfortunately, because comedy is like a nice community and you move, especially for example, like I came to like I'm in when I was in Detroit, I had a friend from LA whose parents live in Detroit. So he flew to Detroit to do shows to open up for me. And then New York, I have some openers. Two of them one of them has a car. So we drove down to DC. They came to open for me here, and then we're driving back. Same thing with Pittsburgh. There's a comedian that a friend, a Pittsburgh local Pittsburgh comedian that a friend gave recommended, and hopefully once we book the tour, he and I have a car, so we'll drive together around. Same thing in St. Louis. So it's like there's always there's always different there's always like people that you can hang out with. I mean, it's the camaraderie. Sometimes, but again, at the end, there's some most of the time you are alone. But like Saad, one of my friends, a Palestinian comedian, Saad Al-Essa, he's gonna be with me in Texas. So there's always people that you could open or you could have people open with. Granted you are making less money because you're giving them some money to help pay, but also it's like it's worth it. It's the value.
That's awesome. And so, studying comedy, was there ever a time you thought about quitting or about uh about not doing comedy and how to overcome it?
Every day. I Here's the thing. That's a good question. Have I thought about it? I fantasize about what my life could have been without comedy, but genuinely, when I think about it, I genuinely can't imagine my life without stand-up comedy. I just can't.
Yeah, that's awesome. Uh, But the next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a stand-up comedian?
Okay, comedian. Okay. So and just to reiterate what I last said, there's a poem by Edgar Albert Guest. It's called Don't Quit. I highly recommend you guys people to read it. Edgar Albert Guest. It's called Don't Quit, and it's about chasing your dreams. So anytime I fantasize about quitting, I read the poem. I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want. Um, People who want to get into comedy, a couple things. There is no right time. If you think you're too old or too young, you're wrong. You're not late, you're not early, you're on time when it comes to life in general about starting comedy. There are some people who, you know, Rodney Dangerfield didn't start till in his 40s. Freddie Prinze Jr. didn't start, he became a superstar by the time he was 19 years old. There is no, when it comes to this career, there is no winning. There is no like right timing or anything like that. It's all in your own life. Now, so to get into comedy, I highly recommend to sign up for your open mic and to start for writing preferences, write 5 things unique about you, 5 things you love, 5 things you hate. Doesn't have to be funny, just has to be interesting. And you go there to and you be and basically that's to get on stage and have something to talk about. Get on stage as much as you can and congratulations, you're a comedian now. Take it as seriously as possible. If you're getting into comedy, take it seriously. Don't just one foot in, one foot out. I'm talking about get in, hit every mic every night, like be obsessed. All your friends in comedy. You live and breathe comedy. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's like that is the best way to get good.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. What advice would you give to your younger self? If you could go back in time, what advice would you give
Oh
to
my God, where do I begin? Actually, you know what? I know exactly what to say. My life advice. Um, Here. Stretch every day. Your back will thank you. You're not late, you're not early, you're on time. Don't compare yourself to others. Work hard, be kind, and good things will happen. That's now that's to most younger people. And then the one last thing I'd give to myself personally, actually two. One is invest in Bitcoin right now. Go, 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 invest in Bitcoin. No, no, I'm kidding. Number two, it's I'd say take a deep breath, slow down. You're doing fine. You don't have to rush things. Just take a deep breath, stop and smell the flowers. Enjoy the journey because you'll get to wherever you want to get to. But just relax and be present.
That's awesome. And so, for one of the last few questions, what was the first time you did a stand-up comedy show?
When was the first time? Okay. The first time I did a stand-up comedy show was freshman year of college. It was they had like an open mic and it was mainly like people doing slam poetry. And I was like, I'm gonna try to do stand up. And I got up and I had I was so bad, but I had like some jokes here and there. And I was so nervous. I was like shaking, like in the bathroom, just like, oh my God. Like my anxiety was through the roof. I got on stage and my friends were so supportive and they were like hardcore. I had one joke. I got like one laugh. And then everyone was just so supportive. Everyone was so supportive. I didn't get on stage for 4 years later. I didn't do stand. Yeah, that was, oh my God. Yeah, that was 2011. And I didn't get back on stage until like November of 2016. I didn't do stand, but I did before in between. I was doing improv and sketch comedy. I did like some improv and sketch, but I was like, but like something about like I still do. I'll have like intense anxiety. Like my heart rate goes through the roof before I get on stage sometimes.
Yeah, I completely understand. What was I lost my key there. Okay,
Yeah.
so we talked about your first time. And then so sorry, I can't understand my writing. I'm trying to.
Yeah, yeah, bad handwriting too. Me too.
Okay, there we go. Uh, so is there someone you hope to have open for you or you open for them soon?
Oh, that's beautiful. So when it comes to opening for me, one is any person that asks me to open for them, I open for me, I always say, "Can you afford to open for me?" Keep your expenses low because I'm like, I'm not making a ton of money. I was like, I can pay you somewhat, but I'm like, I can't, you're not gonna make a lot of money. But a lot of times newer comics or people who want to open, they just go, no, they're doing it for the experience. And I did, and I was in the same situation. People that I want to open for, yes, I want to open for Bill Burr. I want to just open for him once, and I want him to watch my set, and I want him to think, give him and Kevin Hart. I would love for to open for them, just be like, I'm pretty good, huh? See if they like me. But yeah, that's my answer.
That's awesome. So that wraps up the interview. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today.